Hi everyone, this is my first live and I've just invited, yay, she's here. Okay, so how do I get you on here, Deirdre? View. See? Okay, it says we're waiting for her. We're trying to do a split screen so we can both talk to you at the same time. So is it working?
Hello!
This is so
This is
exciting!
so exciting!
Thank you for the hearts, guys. I don't know how you're doing that, but I love it. Okay, so I'm Cheyenne Young.
And I am Deirdre
And
Reardon Hall.
Okay, I've been saying your middle name wrong this whole time. Okay, so we wanted to do this kind of weekly live chat called Writers Uncut, where we talk about writing and publishing and we answer your questions and we just kind of hang out. It originally started, we wanted to do a podcast, but we are not technically proficient. So we said, why not Instagram Live, which I also don't really know how to do. So hopefully this is working well. So anyway, what we wanted to do is introduce ourselves first. So I'm going to let Deirdre introduce herself, and then I'm going to ask her some interview questions, and then we will swap.
All right.
So go.
So first, I just want to thank everyone for joining us. This is so exciting. I think we're both feeling the jitters, and if we have any technical difficulties, just go with the flow, guys. You can write in the comments, hey, you have to press this button or whatever. But I also want to say that this is the first time in how many years have we been friends?
A long time.
A long time.
7 years or so. Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, email every day. This is our first time face to face. So this is like a monumental occasion for us. So hello.
Very exciting. I also like looking at you instead of my own face. Yeah, this is really nice.
Me too. I feel like I'm speaking to a human and not the screen. Of course you're all humans, but when you're looking at yourself, it's very strange just be doing that. But anyway, so yeah, I am Deirdre Reardon Hall. I am a hybrid author. I do both traditional and self-publishing, indie publishing. I wrote the book Sugar, which you may or may not know, Amazon bestseller, which is my heart. I'm very proud of it. This has been an exciting up and down journey all the time. Every day it's why am I doing this? I love doing this. And I feel Shannon and we've gone back and forth and asked each other questions and given each other insights and read each other's books and all of the things. And I think we wanted to kind of take that away, off of our own screen and share some of what we've learned with you guys. So that's kind of a quick, my backstory and our intention. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so I am Cheyenne Young. I am also a hybrid author, I guess. I started out self-published, and then I got a small ebook only deal for my City of Legends superhero trilogy. And then I got another small book deal for the Breakup Support Group. And then I finally got an agent after 10 years of trying to. And my first official hardback book, The Last Wish of Sasha Cade, releases on October 2nd. So I feel like I have experience in the whole realm of publishing, really. And like Georgia said, we email each other so much and we talk about so many things. And we've often said we should write a book, and we've said we should call it How Not to Get Published, because we're very good at doing all the wrong things. So anyway, we just want to kind of impart some of our knowledge to you guys. So after we do this little interview, our weekly format is really going to be we want to just answer your questions. So, but for our very first time, and we're also going to save this video and try to put it to YouTube, assuming we can figure out how. So you'll be able to watch these later on. So for our first video, we just want to introduce ourselves. Hi, Cassie. And
I see.
So I prepared some questions to ask my co-host here. Also, I'm sorry that I look so pale. It's the sunlight right here, guys. I'm really not a vampire. So, okay, you look so golden and amazing, and I'm just, anyway, okay. Okay, Deirdre, why did you start writing?
I knew this was a question before, and I don't, the answer is not just I started writing because a story came to me. I think it was just a gradual unfolding of me having a lot to say, but not necessarily being able to say it verbally. I can type all day and the words just flow. And but speaking sometimes, and I think why we took so long to kind of get to this point of like talking about writing, or at least for me, like it just I'm better with words. I'm better with the written.
Oh yeah.
And so back in 2006 or 7, I started writing screenplays, which I'm not really like sure where that. I don't still don't quite understand it. It's part of my story, but the kind of the journey I took to get to YA was kind of influenced by Stephanie Meyer's Twilight, and I'm not ashamed of that.
No, no.
I love that.
It's on here.
There.
Well, I switched my desk around so y'all could see my books. Stephanie's here. I don't know where, but
Oh,
there's a
yeah, I
shirtless
see her. I
Jacob
see her.
Funko up there. Yeah.
Um,
So anyway,
and so yeah, so I think it was like part of it was just sort of to help me understand my experiences and my story, and kind of tap into some of those universal truths that I think is one of the reasons why people connect with each other through story, through reading. It's like storytelling is one of the oldest arts known to humankind. So I think I feel like I maybe had something to say, didn't know how to say it, and so I wrote it, and that's kind of how that came about. How about you? Why did you start writing?
um, I never know how to answer this question either. I think it's usually I think I've always been a big reader, and my whole childhood and my whole life I read, and at some point I thought I kind of want to write my own story. And and it may also be inspired by Stephanie Meyer or J.K. Rowling because
Yes.
it's like I read books my whole life, but it was really in my early 20s when those books got very popular, and it really made me fall in love with reading again, and I wanted to write my own stories. So,
Yeah.
and I did, and it's super hard, and for some reason I've been too stubborn to quit. So, anyway, okay, next question. How long have you been writing?
Definitely back in the 90s, I used to write zines. I don't know if anyone knows what those are. If you know what those are, raise your hand. It's like a zine, Zine instead of magazine. Um,
Oh, zines. Yeah, yeah,
Remember
yeah.
zines? Like it sounds weird
Mhm.
saying it, but it's a weird, strange word. But anyway, yeah, I started doing that, and then over time, just like I was always writing, journaling, that kind of thing. And then it was really like 2006, 2007. I was like, there's a book in me, maybe more than one, and that was kind of what started. And again, like Cheyenne said, did all the wrong things in the beginning. I didn't know how to like tell a story, write a story. Like it didn't just come out and it's like, oh, there it is, a bestseller. No, 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 no. It was a lot of trial and error, a lot of learning, a lot of reading, and so yeah, I sometimes still don't know what I'm doing most of the time.
Yeah. Same.
How long have you been writing?
I always say it was about 2007, 2008, because those are the oldest drafts I can find on my
Yeah,
computer.
yeah,
When I sat down and really tried to start writing something, and it's horribly bad. It's so embarrassing. And I even emailed a few of these chapters to friends thinking it was good, and I'm just completely
oh,
mortified that I did that.
yeah,
But so yeah, it's been about a decade
yeah,
now, and it's funny because speaking of J.K. Rowling, because I wrote a bunch of just pointless crap that wasn't anything, and when I sat down to write a book, I copied. She had posted her outline online, this like picture
yeah.
of her hand drawn
I
outline,
know that one.
and
Yeah,
I said I'm gonna do this. So I tried to outline my story the same way, and it did not work at all. And that was maybe the first time I learned you got to do what works for you, not what works for somebody else. But so yeah, it's been about 10 years
yeah.
for me too. So, okay, next question. How many books have you written?
Um, I think I've completed about 40 books, and some of them are published. Some of them will never be published. Some of them I'm hoping will be published. So yeah, I've written quite a bit of, a lot of books, some novellas, um, and each one, just like you were saying, like you have to find what works for you, and then kind of the corollary to that is it doesn't always work the same for each book. Like hey, I'm seeing people
Hey,
popping up on the bottom. Um,
I want to send an emoji or something, but I don't know how, and
Sure.
I don't
If
want them to
anyone
know.
knows how we can respond to the comments, let
Yeah.
us know. But anyway, what I was saying is like even two books that you're writing, book A and book B, the process might be totally different. At least for me, like I have a general process, but sometimes I'm like, oh, this is different than last time, or like I'm stuck, and try something new. So it's really, I like to think of writing like maybe you're not writing an adventure, but writing is like an adventure. Like you learn new things at every
Mhm.
turn. It's kind of cool. So how about you? How many books have you written?
So I knew this was going to be a question, and I didn't add them up. I have written about probably 40 or so full-length novels
Yeah,
and about 20 or 30 novellas that are anywhere from 20 to 30,000 words.
you've written.
And yeah, a lot, a lot, a lot. And gosh, like dozens that I've started and never finished and never will finish because they don't deserve to be finished. So a lot. And yeah, the process has been different for every single one. And it's speaking of what's funny is because I consider Sasha, actually, you know what? I'll wait because that's the next question. So let me ask you, what's the favorite book you've written? Your favorite book you've written?
Oh my gosh! Again, like I knew this was a question, and I don't know. Like it's always the one I'm writing is a favorite, but also I hate it at the same time. But I think probably I think Sugar was probably my favorite. But I think that's because of I had a very broad experience with it. Like writing is something you do alone, in your space, and then having it traditionally published, like there's a whole other part to that. Um, so I think because of that, because it was more of a collaborative effort, I think it was definitely my favorite. But I don't know. It's like saying like
I think
pick your favorite kid. Like
I just have one kid, so that's
yeah.
easy. It's my dog, and I tell my kid that all the time.
Don't tell Ellie. Um, so yeah. So what's your favorite book? I actually am curious.
Sasha,
Okay. Yeah.
I actually, I guess it's a two-part question. I feel like my favorite is Motocross Me. It's the first complete novel I ever wrote and finished from start to finish. So it has a special place in my heart, not because it's the best, because it's not, but because writing your first book, and if you're an aspiring author, please take this to heart, is the best time you're ever going to have because you're so blissful and naive and it's a whole new experience and you know what like I can't describe it. Like I can remember it took me 9 months to write that book, and I can remember coming home every day after work and just working on it, and it was really powerful and special, and I was really excited when it finished.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
that's kind of my
I love that.
favorite, but I guess, well, like the one I'm most proud of is Sasha, and Sasha took me 27 days to write. So every book is different, and I love Sasha because I feel like it to date is the best book I've written because I've taken everything I've learned over these dozens and dozens of books and put it together. But it's kind of a two-part question because that first book you write is always going to be very special to you because you're accomplishing something a lot of people want to do and never
Yeah.
do.
It's
So,
kind of like the first time you fall in love in a way. Like
hmm
there's just that something, that special spark. And so yeah, I love that answer. That's really nice. Okay, what's next?
what's your routine?
I don't have a routine. I mean, I do, I guess. I guess right now it fluctuates depending on how, what's going on in life, but oh, like Cassie, I like your answer. I'm a big fan of the breakup support group too. I'm a big fan of
I
Cheyenne
like
Young. I
it.
just say. Um, but okay, so right now my writing schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every other minute of every other day that I have the opportunity to write. Generally, I'm better in the morning, so I sit down at my desk and whatever I have, planned for that day. A lot of times, this is a nice tip that take it or leave it, but I try and leave off the day before or the last time I was writing with a prompt or like a cue or something that can kind of launch me right into getting back into whatever it is I'm working on. So I might leave myself a little note or leave off a few words about where I'm going with a dialogue or a scene or whatever. And yeah, so basically I just get my butt in the chair and I roll until I get hungry, the dog needs to go outside, or the children need something. But I'm kind of a dork. I have a lot of essential oils, and I usually do put some oils in my diffuser before I sit down. I often get a cup of tea. Um, but yeah, my routine it varies, and I think I'm not necessarily much for like habitual or routine kind of things. I kind of just I just go. How about you? Do you
Mhm.
have a routine? Eric?
Well, I should also note that we're also both pretty much full-time writers too.
Yeah.
So we kind of have different schedules. I have like 5,000 side hustles, including my Etsy store, which you should check
You should
out
check.
to pay the bills. But so it is different because when I had a day job, I had to write at nighttime.
Yeah.
But so my routine is, it varies depending on what time of the year it is. If it's summer break and my kid's out of school, I don't get out of bed till like noon. So, which is summer break's the worst. But during school time, like now, I wake up at 6:30 with her, get her to school, and I make coffee. And because that's the one thing we're different is I'm obsessed with coffee and you're not, which I don't. You might want to see a doctor for that. I don't know. So
That's not
anyway,
a deal
um,
breaker. I'm glad we can still be friends.
I know, I know. Well, I just see it as there's more coffee in the world for me. So. Anyway, so yeah, I wake up on a good day, a school day. I get my coffee and I spend the first part of the morning writing. Awesome, thank you, Jen. So I spend the first part of my morning writing. I cannot do anything after lunch. I feel like I can't do anything creative. I call it my admin work. I'll update Twitter and I'll update my website and I'll do all that kind of fun stuff after lunch. But in the morning is when I get most of my writing done. And you've probably seen my posts, which I might be able to show you if I move this. Can y'all see that? I use my bike desk. I sit on the desk and I have my Alpha Smart and I pedal and I write to my word goal. My word goal is usually 2,000 to 3,000 words a day. And sometimes I do it by chapters, just depends. If I'm on a tight deadline, I'll write 5,000 words a day. And I sit on that bike and I pedal and I write, and then when it's done, and I go have a snack. And then I edit it later. So that's pretty much my routine. And I'm a lot like you, like it varies, you know, if my kid forgets something and needs me to rush it to school, then I'm not getting my work done. And sometimes if I can't sit down to write before lunchtime, then sometimes it's just not going to happen that day because I'm just not creative. I feel like in the afternoon I'm just not creative. My brain doesn't function that way. So I have to get my work done in the morning.
I'm like that too, actually, but I will squeeze it in when I can. But I want to say, Jen, I want a bike desk as well, except my office is in the living room, and I don't think it would fly with the rest of the family if I plonked down a bike in here. But maybe
I did it for a while, and I told them to get over it before I had my office at the old house. Yeah. I mean, I recommend it. If you're considering it, definitely get one. It's like $200 on Amazon, which is a tax write-off.
Oh,
And
smart.
it's amazing. And you don't even have to, it's not like I break a sweat on it. I just slowly pedal and it keeps you focused and you don't wander and you can't do anything if you're stuck to a bike.
Yeah.
All you can do is write. So it's like the ultimate butt and chair initiative. So I tell everyone to get one. They need to start paying me to recommend these things.
have an affiliate thing for it.
No.
I want to add one quick thing. So you said about how, if your kid needs something at school, like life happens. But I will add this. I'm the same way. Like, if something needs to happen, I break into my writing time. Other than that, though, if the phone rings, even if someone comes to the door, if I'm writing, a lot of times I ignore it. So don't feel like I'm ignoring you if anyone else I know is watching this. But I'm treating, and I think the same can be said for you, Shay, is I'm treating my writing time, the time I've allotted that day, whether it's in the morning or if you do work, have a regular full-time job and have to work at night, guard that writing time. Don't let anything, whether it's social media, like just random intrusions or whatever, kind of break into that, because you do need to focus and you do need to dedicate yourself to that. And the other stuff can wait, unless someone's hair is on fire, you're good.
Even then, you don't really need hair.
You don't.
But no, and I am the same way. And my phone actually has a setting where I can have it ignore every single phone call except from the numbers I set.
Oh.
So I set my child's school, her phone number, and my husband's number, and I shut it off, and I will not answer, and I won't look at my phone while I'm writing, because you really do have to guard that time. Because at least for me, if I get distracted for even 30 seconds, I'm done. Like I can't get back in the zone.
Yeah.
So if you're very serious about writing and completing your manuscript, like guard your time, and it's serious. Put a sign on the door. I actually do have a sign on my office door that says "Stay away," and you just have to disrespect everyone you care about to get your work done. And if they love you, they'll understand. Except my daughter's always begging for dinner, and I'm just like, oh my God, you ate 4 hours ago. Get over it. Anyway, okay. Next question. What is your current project?
know what my current project is.
I
You
do.
have it. So I always have multiple things going on at once, but I'm trying to kind of, as I look into 2019, I'm trying to kind of simplify a little bit. But my current work in progress is called Time Strange and Wonderful. Actually, my agent has, I guess you would say, my official work in progress, but it's not really in progress anymore. I hope it's done.
Right.
And then Cheyenne has Time Strange and Wonderful, and that is it's a little different than other stuff I've written. It's more
Very, very good.
It's more mystery, young adult mystery, I guess, is where you would shelve it. And then after that, I have another exciting thing that I'm actually going to start outlining today, I think. I think I have time to do it today after we're done with this. I have a few other admin things, like you were saying, but I'm working on, I don't know if I should say it or not. Should I say it?
Say it.
Pirates. Girl pirates.
Yes.
Woo!
I'm excited.
So yeah, so that's next. I don't know what will happen with that, but I'm playing around with some ideas. I have like pages and pages of notes, which in future we'll talk about all kinds of, you know, aspects of our processes and all that. But yeah, so there's always a few little irons in the fire, and yeah, so exciting. What is your current work in progress, or plural?
Yeah, I don't even know. So my official whip, which I guess it's not really a work in progress anymore because my next manuscript is with my agent and we've revised it a few times and she's reading it now. Actually, she started reading it Friday. So now I'm at that panicky point where I'm like, does she hate it? And she just doesn't want to tell me yet. But so that book is, I guess I'll say it. My quick pitch for it is a young adult retelling of the movie While You Were Sleeping. It's a romantic kind of friendship story. I think it'll be great for fans of Sasha. And so we need to cross our fingers that that book's going to sell. I don't know if it will or not. And then right now I've got 2.5 book ideas and an unfinished email to you talking about them. And I can't decide which one I want to start working on yet. So I've spent the last week or so just debating over these 2.5 book ideas because each one of them is missing that special spark that makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
So we'll be emailing about that later, and maybe you can help me. But again, later on, because we want to do these things once a week where we will talk about the whole aspect of our writing process. So right now, I guess I don't really have an official work in progress. I just have a bunch of stupid ideas that aren't fixing themselves in my brain yet. So
none of your ideas are stupid. I always love them, and I'm excited for that email because it's always like, it's like Christmas morning. Like, what is it going to be? And play around with it. It's fun. It's good times. Okay.
And Jen, I love that movie too.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to acknowledge those comments, but I don't know how. But I don't anyway. But thank you for commenting and watching, you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're all here with us and stuff. So okay, we have rapid fire.
Yes.
You ready? Are you gonna go? Do you want to go first? Or do you want?
I will ask you. Okay, coffee or tea?
Tea.
Paper or digital?
So yesterday I'm not answering rapid fire, I guess. The truth of it is most of my books are digital because I don't have a ton of space. But I love paper. I love holding a book. But most of my books, if you look at my Kindle, the shelf is big. But how about, next.
Ocean or mountain?
Ocean.
I knew you were going to say that. I think I know your answer to all these. Sunset or sunrise?
Both. I love them both. I like the sunrise and I love the sunset.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Okay, I would have got a 100 if that was a quiz on you. Okay, ask me.
Okay, your turn. Coffee or tea?
Coffee!
Knew that. Paper or digital? I'm curious.
I feel like it's two answers because because I like to collect books.
You do.
But I actually read most of my books digitally, and a lot of times I buy almost every book I buy, I then check it out from the library digitally so I can read it on my Kindle because I read faster on the Kindle. I feel like so it's a both answer. Yeah, we're bad at rapid fire.
Okay, ocean or mountains?
Ocean.
Okay. thought that, but okay. Sunset or sunrise? This is a tough one.
Sunrise, because it's the start of a new day.
Yeah,
So there's all kinds of possibilities
I
there.
like that. You're a poet in addition to being a young adult author. Sweet or salty?
Sweet. That's a tough one though. If it's edible, I like it.
Yeah. I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
we're done with rapid fire, so now we're going to move on to our topic of the day, which in the future, our topics are going to be questions that you guys ask. So this was something someone asked, right?
This was.
I think so.
Am I here? Can you see me?
You froze.
Okay.
You're here.
Am I back?
You're talking, but your face is frozen.
Let's see.
Come back. Just talk. I can hear you.
Okay. I'm in low power mode on my phone. I forgot to charge it. Yeah, this is from a friend of mine actually, Tamar. I think her handle is at Tamar Jacobs, I think. So yeah, so the question is,
Are you saying it or me?
can you hear me? Like,
Did you disappear?
am I
I
unfrozen?
can hear you.
Am I unfrozen or am I frozen still?
No, you're still frozen, but I can hear you. Well, if you're watching this, will you tell us if you can see her?
I'm gonna plug my phone in. But so the question is,
Okay.
the top 5 essentials for your writing space.
You want to answer it first?
You answer because I'm gonna try and see if I can fix my phone.
Okay. Top 5 essentials for your writing space. Well, I'm technically in my writing space right now, so I can look around and answer that. Number 1 is my bike desk, which I cannot recommend enough, you guys. Like, I need to email these people and see if they will start paying me to advertise for them. The bike desk is amazing. It's how I write so quickly. Second essential is my Alpha Smart, which I've also blogged about and talked about. It's this $30 little device that elementary schools have. It's like just a little keypad, and all you do is type on it, and there's no distractions, there's no Twitter, and there's no internet, and that's how you get your writing done. So those are my first 2 essentials. What else do I have?
Can I interrupt real quick? Am
Yeah.
I unfrozen?
No.
No.
So say, do you want me to close you off and try adding you back?
Do you think that'll interrupt the recording, or do you think it'll be okay?
I don't think so, because it gives me the option to boot you out if I want.
Okay. Oh wait, Jen says no. Okay. Yeah, try it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, now she's gone, guys, so we can talk bad about her. Just kidding, just kidding. Okay, I'm adding her back. And let's see if it works. Is she coming back? So, Sharpie pens. This is a really ugly assortment of colors I just grabbed. You're there, yay!
Yay!
So, Sharpie pens are my 3rd essential. I'm very snobby. They're the only pens that I write with in my office because they're the best. Again, I should be getting paid to advertise for them. And then, so my 4th and 5th essentials. Coffee, obviously. Hello Kitty decor. My office is filled with it, and you can't see my laptop, but there's stickers all over there. So that's my top.
I didn't know that about you, that you love Hello Kitty.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, if I just turn around, you're going to find her everywhere. Like,
I love
my whole
that.
house. Yeah, my whole house is Hello Kitty, and my husband hates it, but he still provides, he buys me stuff all the time. So
I'm glad I know this now.
yeah. So anyway, those are my top 5 essentials. What are yours?
Okay, so I think you're gonna have a 6th in a minute because you left something off. But hold on, I have to get it.
Is it?
Dog.
Oh nope, I was wrong. Yeah, my dog here. My dog's right here. Nova, say hi.
Hi, Nova.
She does not care.
She's always there. I know that. Like if you're writing, she's by your feet. Yeah. So dog is 1. Say hi.
Hi,
Chewy.
Chewy.
He's like, what are you doing?
Can't pick mine up. She's too big.
Okay, so for real though, I think an internet connection, because I tend to, like I'll look up a name or the meaning of a name or whatever. But I don't let myself get distracted. Um, my laptop, which is over 10 years old, and it's holding in there. We'll see. I just got dark, looks like. Okay.
It's okay. I'm bright enough for both of us.
An outline, some water. Oh, and I always keep like a scrap paper handy, and like I end up with like 10 pens or pencils on my desk by the end of my time writing. But I honestly just the computer is really all I've been at this so long that I've like simplified the process, because although I do like dedicate a lot of time, I've dedicated time during the day to write, I've had to steal snatches of time, and so I've like really simplified. Like I just get in the zone. I do also have noise canceling headphones, because like I said, the office is in the living room, and so if there's anyone home, I will get distracted and just like regular life stuff. And I also have my confetti collection. So I feel like I should say one fun thing.
Love that.
At the confetti
I have
bar.
confetti by my desk too.
What's that?
I said I have confetti by my desk too.
It just makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I wish I had a better answer, but yeah, just the computer.
Well, you do make a good point, because when it comes to being a writer, all you really need is something to write on, whether it's a computer or an AlphaSmart or a notebook. That's really all you need.
Your hand.
So, yeah. Or your voice. Some people type or talk.
Yeah.
I can't dictate. I've tried it. It's hard, but some people do.
I've tried.
But I mean, it really is full.
Yeah.
Well, you dictate your emails to me sometimes. I'm like, she talked this into her phone with all the typos.
A lot of typos, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We have the same brain now, so I know what you're trying to say.
Oh, good.
Anyway,
oh, go ahead.
go on.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say, my passion planner.
Yeah.
I don't want to include it because it seems too official, but it is really important if you're trying to write on a schedule and trying to get stuff done, or trying to balance 5,000 other side hustles like I am, and a family that always gets in the way. I recommend having a planner too, because I track my whole week every Sunday, and then I make sure to get everything done. So, but that's boring, so I didn't want to include that. I'd rather include Hello Kitty.
I actually think it's not boring, and I think we at some point we should talk about that, because way back, it was like I don't know, a couple years ago, I forget how it all came about, but I had a passion planner, and then you gifted me a passion planner. But anyway, having some kind of a planner or a notebook or something, I think is a really, really good tool. And I think we should talk about it at some point, because we've both made really good use of them. And it's kind of been, I think, in a way, indispensable, and at least having some kind of method to like write out your plans and intentions. So.
Oh yeah. Like, for instance, when I get a star is when I wrote 5,000 words.
That is
So
like
that's
one of my favorite things that you do, I think.
So, and I really like it because I've been doing this for several years now, and I like to go back and look at my old planners.
Yeah.
And I can just see the sheer amount of work I've done, because I write 1 to 2 manuscripts a month. And it's like, wow. And so, if anything, to keep yourself organized, but also just to look back and take a moment to realize what you've accomplished, because there's always going to be this long list of accomplishments that you don't have yet that you're longing for. And sometimes you just have to take a break and look back at what you have done. So planners are awesome, and I highly recommend them too. But we have like so many topic ideas now for future.
That was some wisdom, though. I just want to highlight that for a minute. What you said, like, we can get so caught up in the things we want to do and accomplish, and see people, checking off their list of accomplishments and things like that. And it is good. It's good to reflect and have like a physical thing that can show you, like, oh yeah, I did this, I did that, I've been working at this. It's a good feeling. So always important to acknowledge where we've come from and what we've done. So
Yep. Even if you're just starting out, it's better than you were yesterday. You've made progress.
yeah,
So
yeah, love
don't. And again, and I really like to say, because some people, when I tell them it took me 10 years to get an agent, they're like, oh, and I genuinely feel like if you had told me 10 years ago it's going to take 10 years for this to happen, I probably would have quit. I would have been like, okay, screw that. Like, that's way too long. And I would have given up.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. And I just kept plugging along year after year after year. And it finally happened. And when you finally reach your goals, like, I cannot describe how amazing that is. So even if you're just starting out, just realize, like, it'll probably take a while. Maybe it won't, but it'll probably take a while. But that time's gonna pass anyways.
Yep.
So
Yep.
just keep working toward it
Yeah.
because it'll get there.
Yeah.
It'll happen, and then you should have these awesome planners to remind you of every little step that you made along the way.
Yep. Love it. Love
So
it. Love it.
do we want to wrap up now? I think we had a really good first live video.
I think so.
Hopefully you
This
guys
is so
liked
sweet.
it.
Like, I'm so glad we're doing this.
I know, it's fun.
So we want to, our intention here, I started saying this at the top of our chat, was we want to answer your questions. And so we have a few so far. We answered one, and we will, take your questions, either DM them, leave a comment, whatever, and we'll consider them for a future topic.
Yeah, and right now we want to do every Wednesday around this time is kind of what we're setting.
Yeah.
But this is really fun. So I could see us doing more random, spontaneous live videos in the future.
Yeah.
So, and we're calling ourselves Writers Uncut. We might change it. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is how we operate.
I like the idea. It's like we're unedited, like we do so much editing. This is just like on the fly, answers off the cuff kind of thing.
Yeah, so send us your questions of stuff you'd like us to discuss in future episodes, and thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to hopefully find a way to save this video and put it on YouTube later.
Yes,
so.
Yes. So if you have any writer friends, aspiring writers, make sure you let them know that we're doing this and spread the word. We appreciate it. And come back next Wednesday, and we will be chatting about, I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we will let you know.
We'll figure it out. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to end this now,
Okay.
hopefully.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Mwah.